Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Amrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya.
Thank you to Alicia Mathewson for that beautiful chant. The lyrics, if you don't know them, are lead me from untruth into truth, lead me from the darkness into the light, and lead me from death into immortality. And so we open each week this space with those powerful words and the vibration that they hold of truth and light and immortality. Here we are in between the blue moon and the new moon, the full moon, the solar eclipse. This is actually a month that has no full moon. February, which I didn't realize is a month that has no full moon. And so there's a lot moving for everyone, a lot of emotion, a lot of patterns and stories and relationships coming up to be explored. And it can be smooth, it can be easy, or it can be really rocky. And what I find over and over is this practice of stillness, this practice of coming in to myself really helps with the navigation of everything. I was reflecting on this over the last few days, that when we have a lot of tumultuous energy around us, you know, when things look rocky or it's a bumpy time, or like right now, just collectively around the globe, here in the United States, here in local communities, there's just a lot going on. It's a busy time, and lots of things are coming up to be explored. And so when we have things come up in our space and it's uncomfortable, one of the simplest ways to deal with that, and I see this all the time, is throw it away. Project it out, right? Toss that to somebody else, because it just doesn't feel good in here. So I'm just gonna go and like send it over. And when we are all doing that, there's just this shit that flies from place to place to place to place, and it never actually gets cleaned up. It never gets looked at and released and cleared. So these patterns that we've been playing, we just keep falling back into the same old loops, because we're also used to projecting stuff out when it gets uncomfortable. And this weekend I wrote about awakening, this idea, this belief that I have that consciousness on our planet, love, awareness, that immortality that is in the chant, you know, this belief that we are eternal, infinite souls in these really ridiculous human bodies. My belief is that our planet right now, humanity, is going through this global awakening, and many, many, many humans are starting to realize that they are the soul inside of the body. And when we start to realize that, it's that same sort of uncomfortable, squirrely feeling where you're like, do I have to look at this? Does that have to be something that we talk about? What if I just pull the covers back over my head and, you know, go back to being asleep? It is a very safe and familiar option to just go and be done, right? And let the world go on around whatever you don't want to look at. What I know to be true is that consciousness, in this expansion that's happening, this momentum, this wave of energy that is moving throughout humanity, it's unstoppable. It is an expansion that is a force that is coming from behind us, like out of bed. Get your little sweet butt out of bed and take the covers away, because it's not going to work like it has been. And so these places that we haven't wanted to look at, you know, are like right here in front of our faces. So one, we're getting this like momentum behind us that's kind of forcing us to get a little uncomfortable. We're kind of being poked and prodded from the back by, I would call it, collective humanity, right? It's kind of poking at us. And then when we are aware that we're waking up, then the stuff inside of us is all right? Kind of, yeah, like it's uncomfortable to be in our skin because we're shifting and things don't fit the way they used to fit. So with all of that uncomfortableness, the easy thing to do is like, get it away, toss it to somebody else. I don't want that. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to process that. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to remember that. Like, blah. And so then not only are we feeling this uncomfortableness inside of ourselves and that poking from the collective, we've also got all this stuff coming at us from all the people around us who are getting poked and throwing their shit. So it's literally just like dodgeball, perhaps, is a good way to think of it. Right now, it's a little bit like dodgeball, and everybody has 10 balls. We're all just trying to hot potato the ball to somebody else. So I can laugh at it because I'm aware of it. I can see that this is what's happening, in my space and within myself and within those around me. And when we're aware of it, we can detach a little, right? We can become the witness, the observer, that's just really curious, like, whoa, what an interesting time to be a human on this planet. Like, whoa, it's not quite so traumatic or life and death. It's like, oh, we better get a little humor in here because this is looking a little intense. And so that's what I feel I am bringing tonight, is just a pause, right? A pause in all the poking and the mudslinging and the projection and the defending and, all the stuff that we are working through individually and then also within all of humanity. So take a break with me. Just sit back and allow that to resonate with you, or maybe it won't. Maybe you hear my words and you're like, oh, it's not what's going on. Everything's great. Covers over my head. I'm happy. And that's totally cool. Or maybe you're through all of that. And so you're just kind of sitting back it's all good. It's so great. Just hang out with me for a little while and see if anything pops up for you. What I have been finding, that's not quite right. What I choose often for myself over and over, I'm getting better and better at it all the time. What I choose typically when I feel the poking at my back, and I can feel there's a lot of collective anger coming up, or fear coming up. They're typically right now very what I would call negative emotions, uncomfortable emotions. I don't have a lot of people who poke me like, yeah, it's a party, let's play, woo! Most people right now are like, it's a very uncomfortable poking. So I don't know, maybe you're having a different experience. But when the collective feeling is really ugh, right? You want to kind of shake it off. As I sniff, as we breathe it in. When I get that feeling, what I tend to do is go in, instead of turning around and rah, why are you poking my back? Or, trying to defend or resist. What I typically do is go in. And so I will have meditation time or yoga, where I'll go for a walk outside with my puppy, and I'll just be, just be more still. And in that space of quiet, for me, I'm able to sift through, is that actually my feeling right now? Or is that something that is heavy, bigger, like a big shadow that's trying to push down on me? How do I feel in this moment, and what's mine and what belongs to other people? And that practice, when I'll speak for myself, when I have this baseline or this set point for myself of what I know my typical emotions feel like, what my steadiness or calmness or centeredness is, when I know what that feels like, when things start poking from outside, it's easier for me to know, like, okay, hold on, I wasn't feeling that half an hour ago, and the only thing that has shifted in my half hour has been this email or this article I read, or a phone call I got. Like, something externally has brought this feeling into my space. And so I can sit with it and know this is mine and this isn't mine. And then instead of hot potatoing it out at somebody else, I can just breathe and imagine like running that toxic energy down into the earth. And so I start to recycle the junk instead of, oh, I don't like it. Right? Throw that at somebody else. I can just start clearing some of what has come up in my space. And maybe it's not all mine. Maybe some of it is energy that others have handed to me. But because I'm aware of what's going on, I can start to release that energy down into the earth. And so the collective experience becomes a little lighter. It becomes less dense. It's some of the toxicity has gone energetically down into the earth. And the earth is just one big giant recycling center of energy. So, the earth could take all the stuff we hot potato at each other all day long. All of that could be sent down into the surface of the earth and then visualized as going further and further down, where it can just disperse or dissolve. But when we don't remember that or practice that, then it's just like, I feel bad, I'm going to throw it at you, so you feel bad, and you're going to throw it at someone else. And it's a lot. It's a lot. So perhaps this visual of being poked, what is coming up inside of us, and then what we're trying to dodge from receiving, allows you to see there are all these ways that we are being offered the opportunity to clear density, to clear fear, to transmute something that feels thick and hard to move through, into pure air, into pure love, into pure consciousness, into an expansion of more love in our world, which ultimately is the point of every planet, every human, every existence, every consciousness. Like, it's always about love. So as we own this ability that we have to start transmuting some of this energy that feels dense, we become co-creators. We become like collaborators, on healing our planet, on healing humanity. Yeah. It sounds like a lot of work, but really it's not very hard. It just takes conscious awareness of it. And it's subtle sometimes, when we are in relationships, and I'll speak for myself, when I'm in relationships that I love and I honor, and I'm so in love with the relationships in my life, and there are ways that I want to save the people around me, or protect, or buffer, or make things easier, and so I feel myself often kind of wanting to go into somebody's space and just simplify it for them. And what I've been practicing really so much more over the last year is sitting back, going in to myself, and then allowing those around me to have the space to do their own work, to do their own healing, to have their own expansion, and to just sit and be here in me. And then when I feel things that are kind of projected or thrown, I can just clear them and run them out, but I'm not going into someone's space to save them. Yeah, bless you. My son just sneezed. He's at his office over there, and I'm at my office over here. This is how we do Tuesday nights. It's awesome. I was just going to say something about that. Yes, so when I feel the uncomfortableness, so things just feel a little prickly, or it's not quite going the way I wanted it to or thought it could, or life can often feel a little out of control because there are so many players and so many things that are moving and going on, and so we're trying to grab and hold on and make it all work the way we want it to. And so when I get that urgency or feeling of like, oh, it's not what I wanted, why isn't it going this way or that way? This is where, in the past I would have projected out at people, or I would have like gone and dumped all my sadness or fear or irritation and gotten it out of me so that, I would feel better. But in the process of that, the person across from me is now getting my hot potato of that, which doesn't always serve. It doesn't feel very good. And what I have been practicing more and more lately is when I feel that urge of like, oh, I want to go and complain or like vent or, just get it out. Like I want to go blah with someone. What I've been practicing is first I'm going to meditate. First, I'm going to sit and I'm going to be in my own space and breathe and get myself centered. And then run whatever is ready to be released down into the earth. I'm just going to move it on my own first. And if there is still something in there that is ready to be processed, awesome. I'll sit with people I trust and love and share it and receive reflections. And, it's a completely different exchange of energy, of consciousness, of love when I've done that initial dump of that. When I've done that dump of energy down into the earth, I can show up and like what's left is what's really the meat of it, or the nugget of it, the wisdom, the pearl. It sits underneath all of that emotion. And so in my space, moving that first big layer serves me. It serves my relationships. It serves consciousness, the collective humanity. Imagine for a moment if everyone, instead of venting, like ranting on Facebook or ranting on Twitter or blah, like projecting all this stuff, if we were in the practice first of just going, right? Maybe we need to do like panting breaths for a little bit and like get it all down and out. But if we did that first, and then we went to Twitter, or then we went to the other social media accounts or YouTube or the news cameras or whatever, it would be a collective energetic field that would be so much less volatile. It would be like calmer, just calmer. And I also get that that's part of how consciousness is expanding right now, is everyone's just like blah, all the time. All the time. And so what's the balance in that? What is the equilibrium that we're going to find as a society, as a global humanity? I don't know. What I know for myself is that this practice of processing, releasing first in my own internal space, and then showing up in those relationships around me, it's serving me, it's serving those around me. And I know it's serving humanity. What I find also is that a lot of the pressure, keep using my hands, the collective pressure and the oppression, comes from time. Like there's never enough time. How am I going to get all fit in? What am I going to do? It's never going to get done. We have these checklists. I have checklists with checklists and we're constantly just trying to accomplish, push through, move through. And in our minds, we have very important tasks that we want to get done. We have these, each of us individually have these very important lists. I know we do. Lists. Lists. Very important lists of things that we're supposed to get done. And when we are measuring ourselves against this list is often when it starts to get very uncomfortable, because I'll speak for myself. I'm waiting to be judged because I didn't get this done, or I didn't meet that deadline, or I didn't, I'm my own worst judge, but then the people around me, like, they have expectations. And so we're all sort of also being poked and prodded by time. There's just not enough of it. The bonus that I find over and over in meditation, the untalked about, if that's the right word, the secret bonus of meditation is not only that it calms you and helps, I'll speak for myself again, helps me release energy and come back to center. Not only does it do that, but when I'm in meditation, and I know this is possible for anyone, when I'm in meditation, the mind starts to move through the list, checking off the things that we can't forget, shouldn't miss, all of those checklists. The mind runs through that. And then the soul rises up. And the soul speaks. And it speaks very gently, usually, in my opinion, in my experience, very gently, very quietly. And the soul is like, here's what's important. This is the priority. This is the thing you do first. And then when you get that done, you can get this done and this done and this done. And because you have this clear path of priorities, you can start to move through that list, and you start to dissolve this limitation of time. It's like a hidden, I want to say secret weapon, but it's not a weapon. Tool, secret resource. When we practice stillness on a daily basis, the soul is guiding the agenda for the day, and we get so much more accomplished. And because for myself, when I feel like I'm in that flow and I'm moving through my tasks, my soul's assignments, and I'm moving through them, the peace, the satisfaction, the joy that comes from delivering the soul's priorities, it's like endorphins, hormones, feel-good drugs. It's like this deep satisfaction that I'm on track. That what I'm bringing forward is the gift that my soul wanted me to bring forward. So to circle back to this idea of awakening, when we learn to shift from being in the defense, like I'm trying to not get poked, and I'm trying to not feel all this, and I'm trying to dodge from all that. When we move from that defensive position into this like centered, quiet, steady knowing, we start creating. So instead of being defense, I don't even want to say we're on the offense, because offense implies there's some sort of competition, and there isn't. We're just literally creating. We're moving from destruction to creation. Destruction's a little strong. Defense. We're going to mix our metaphors up a little. We've got defense and creation, which aren't quite opposite, but they're contrasting. I just watched Lilo and Stitch this weekend. It was one of the assignments that I had in my newsletter, was watch a Disney movie. They're so wise. They're so full of beautiful inspiration. And so I watched Lilo and Stitch, and my husband came home and watched it with me, a little unwillingly, but then it was really a great movie. And in the storyline, you know, this destructive being from the Galactic Federation that escaped arrives on Earth in Hawaii, of all places. Like, duh, where else would you go if you were going to escape to Earth? Why not Hawaii? And he's running around, Stitch, right? He's running around, he's destroying everything he can possibly get his hands on. And he starts to awaken. He sees this book, this storybook of a little duckling that's lost, and it's looking for its mom and dad, and it's got a little bubble that says, "I'm lost." And this little duckling's waiting, and you can feel the resonance with this alien and this little duckling. And so he finds his family. You know, the alien claims like this is his family. And so he wants to stay on Earth. He wants to create. And so he becomes the caretaker of the family, you know, making their food and packing their lunches and doing the laundry and, you know, going and surfing and playing. Like, he becomes a creator. He shifts from fear and destruction and anger into love and unity and this empowered knowing of belonging, you know, of being needed, of feeling his value in the family. And that is this shift of awakening that is starting to happen on our planet. The rising up, the healing of the individual, the ownership of our own energy fields and our own healing and our own processing of energy instead of throwing it around. And as we start to awaken, we can shed, let go of the old ways, the fear, the density, the all the poking at us. We can just like let it go. And then we move into creation. And I find that in meditation, this still place inside where the soul's visions of how my gifts can be expressed start to come through. And we all have that possibility. You know, anyone can learn to meditate. Anyone can learn to do yoga and to breathe and to come into the center of our being. So I thought we would take maybe 5 minutes and just do a little pulling in together, and then I'll hold space just to tune in with the mind. Like, what if we were to hear what our soul was saying right now? Like, what actually is the priority? What is the thing that we want to be aware of and start creating? So I invite you to close your eyes with me, as long as you're not driving or moving somewhere where you shouldn't have your eyes closed. Do not operate machinery while doing this. So go ahead and just close your eyes with me. And then focus on, if you imagine, just like how I was picturing it, you pull your energy into yourself. So almost like you're putting your arms out and you're just scooping your soul, your awareness, your consciousness, and you're just, you know, hugging it into your own physical body. When we do that, when we bring our awareness in and we fill up our space with ourselves, we squeeze out the stuff that belongs to other people. We squeeze out all of the gunk that everyone's been throwing and projecting at us and that we've been taking for them. So as you fill up with yourself, go ahead and just notice that feeling of like coming in. Many of us live trying to move towards the future, and so our soul, our energy is out in front of us. So if you can imagine, you just hug that energy and like pull yourself back into you, and then drop your energy down into your body, so down to your hips. And then imagine you can fill yourself up all the way down to your feet. And your feet are closed at the bottom. They're holding like a foundation, holding your energy in your body. And then just relax your muscles and allow yourself to feel, oh, my energy can just slide down my legs, fill up my hips, There's room now for more of you to come in, and so you can just scoop more of your soul, your awareness into your body and hug that into your chest. You might feel a little uncomfortableness inside of yourself because this feels new. It's very different than the projected energy and gunk that people want to throw, right? When you scoop yourself in, it's more like the best hug, the tightest squeeze from your favorite relative, you know, like your favorite grandparent, or someone who has no expectation of you except that they just want to love you and hug you. Maybe your niece or nephew. It's that like squishy, yummy coming home, feeling safe. So allow yourself to pull all of your own energy into your body and then gently just land it inside of your physical form, relaxing your muscles so that you're not gripping or holding on. And then just use your breath for a moment to steady yourself. Being still can happen very easily. It's just allowing the space for it, allowing the cocoon, the time, dissolving that checklist and that need to get everything done, but just being here. So go ahead and relax your body, relax your muscles, and let yourself steady and stabilize inside of your body. Good, and then just tune into your mind for a moment. So your mind might start immediately popping up a couple assignments, like don't forget to cook dinner, don't forget to pack lunches, don't forget to write that email. Just notice whatever the thought is, and remember, that's not the word, inform your mind that you will remember that because it was brought to your attention, and then just let it go out. And then watch the next thought come in and pay attention, and then just let it go out. And you might see 10 things come into your mind and then just move, and then more things come in and they just start to move. And you're still here and the world has not blown up. The destruction has not happened. You're still alive. And your mind can just become more spacious. Like, ah, oh, good. It's good. Okay, now feel what your soul wants to say, because your soul is sitting here inside of your body. You hugged, you called that soul down and in. So imagine your soul can just go and just put a thought or an idea or an image or a feeling or a color right in the center of your forehead, in your mind's eye, your third eye. And it's just, it's very slight, subtle. Often I don't find that the soul is like yelling at us with a megaphone or writing in big black Sharpie marker, or like, don't miss the sign. You know, the soul typically is like, and you want to like turn your head and go, what? Say it again. Can you repeat that? So you can ask your soul, like, can you tell me more? I'm curious. What does that mean? What are you trying to show me? And then trust whatever takes form in front of your eyes. Trust the very gentle nudges where the soul is like, you already know this. You've been so busy that we haven't been able to have this conversation. But here is the thing that we actually need to make a priority. It's this. And you'll know, you'll feel. And if it isn't in this moment, because you've created this space, it'll happen later today or tomorrow in a conversation or when you're driving home from work or waking up in the morning, that time right between sleep and wake. Because your soul knows you're paying attention, the awareness is simply going to arrive. And the soul will say to you, this is the priority, whatever it is for you. And so the gift of that awareness is to honor what you're shown. So if you're shown, you need to pay attention to your health, then make that a priority. Do the thing that your soul is showing you to do, because it's way more important than the email, the dinner, the task, the running, the people. Your health is the thing that your soul is wanting you to pay attention to. Perhaps it's your connection to Source or God. Perhaps it's your creativity or curiosity. Maybe it's opening more to love. Your soul's going to show you what you're actually here to work on at this time, to expand or to shift. And it's behind the list that the mind is giving us. Good. So go ahead, lean back and allow your eyes to open. Thank you for joining me in that little pause in our busy days. This is such a simple practice, to just come in and ground and then allow the soul to speak. Yeah. I don't feel like there's anything else to add to that. All right, we are going to go to a beautiful song. Let me quickly get it prepped. That Alicia Mathewson sings. And the first time I heard this song, I think it was the first time. I used to run a lot more than I do now because it's cold, but I would go for runs and I would hit shuffle on my phone, and this song would play while I was running down the road, and there was no one around, and it was just me and the music and the bright blue sky, and the words were so perfect. So the song is called Sitting Alone. I would run. Now I do more sitting than I did then, but at the time I would run, and this song is just perfect for what we're talking about tonight. So go ahead, sit back, and just allow the lyrics and Alicia's voice to guide you wherever your soul wants to take you for the next 4 minutes and 24 seconds, and then I'll bring us back.
I'm sitting alone in the house I grew up in. I'm sitting alone after all have gone home. I'm sitting alone, just me and the mosquitoes, on my parents' porch with the music of the night. And this is my favorite time, here all by myself, so grateful for all I know I have. Yes, this is my favorite time, here all by myself, still feeling all love deep inside. I'm sitting alone in the house I grew up in. I'm sitting alone, thinking back to just a few years ago, when sitting alone was still so painful, and the anxious fear had such a strong hold. And now this is my favorite time, here all by myself, so grateful for all I know I have. Yes, this is my favorite time, here all by myself, still feeling all love deep inside. Sometimes you've gotta sit and feel the pain. Sometimes you gotta sit and try and understand. Sometimes you gotta sit until you grow. Sitting alone, sitting alone, sitting alone, sitting alone, sitting alone, sitting alone helps me know the love deep inside. I'm sitting all alone in this body I was given. I'm sitting all alone with the sun on my face. I'm sitting all alone, just breathing in the silence. So clear now, only love lives in this place. And this is my favorite time, here all by myself. So grateful for all I know I am. Yes, this is my favorite time, here all by myself. Still feeling all love deep inside. Still feeling all love deep inside. Still.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Alicia. So yes, let us practice presence. Let us prioritize according to what our soul thinks is the highest priority. And then let us be so that we stop doing. Yeah. So much love from my heart to yours.